Hey everybody, it's Linda G and
Hi,
our Mel.
everybody.
You guys
Here
look
we
forward
are, Mondays with Linda and Mel.
Mondays with Linda and Mel. What's the temperature like out there?
Yesterday it was 85. Today, right now, as we speak, it's like 70, but it's overcast. We're gonna get severe thunderstorms later in the day. So
Yes, there was a tornado heading for Atlanta, Georgia. The last I heard this morning.
yeah,
And
this is tornado season for us.
yeah.
I make sure that every house I have, my townhouse has a basement because I was in a tornado once, and it's like we didn't have a basement. My mother lived in an apartment and hit right next door, and
Oh, you
so
were scared.
I always make sure I have a basement.
Yeah. It's interesting. A little bit of a breeze. It's going to be in the 80s out here. But I bought one of those overhangs, electrical ones that come out. It's beautiful,
Yeah,
actually. It gives you a lot of nice shade in the patio. But yesterday, for the first time, there's a little feature on it that if the wind is blowing a little too hard, it goes back in without you even pressing the button.
that's a
And
great
I
idea.
started hearing a little gust, and I thought, "Oops, wind's coming up." Next thing I see is my thing coming back in. So it works.
Well, we're supposed to get rain and maybe hail today, and it's funny because I have a townhouse in our garden. We have a little garden in the back. It's tiny, but Gary puts like plants and stuff, and I'm thinking maybe we're planting too early because typically we don't plant this early in Chicago because it could still freeze.
Right.
But we figured, oh, what the heck, right? So now I just heard there's hail coming, so I'm like, oh, great.
Are you putting something over the plants to protect them?
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
Uh, and I bought all my herbs yesterday. We just got to get them potted, and I have my little. I do it in buckets, and I just set them in our little backyard. They do really well. I get all kinds of herbs, and so
Oh,
because I love to cook, so there's nothing better than fresh herbs. Oh my God, they're amazing.
yeah. I know nothing about that. I
Um,
just open up a jar or something. So,
but
okay,
some
my
things I
friend,
say, thank God that I
I just
saw
throw it
Paula she
together.
was doing biscuits, and she said she got a can of biscuits, and she said her grandmother says, "I'm so happy they invented these damn things
I
because
know.
rolling a
I
biscuit
remember
dough."
making cake from scratch, and then they
Oh
started
yeah,
coming out with cake boxes, and
oh
that
yeah.
was way easier.
I've made biscuits from scratch.
I have too. I have too. I've made bread. I've made everything, but I'm tired. If I didn't have to wipe my own ass, I wouldn't. So, okay. So, listen, I want to start off first with the governor's race in California.
Well,
Said, you said he would be recalled.
I said he'd be recalled. Um,
Governor,
my guy said he'd be recalled, but how many times has he's been recalled? About 10.
yeah,
Oh,
they hate him
right.
because he's a Democrat.
Well, I see a Democrat as governor, and what really kind of frosts me is Caitlyn Jenner jumped in the race, uh, and I heard her. I don't know what pronoun to use anymore, but anyway, she said that she's against transgender females in sports. I'm like, how hypocritical is that?
Right,
You know, as Bruce Jenner, wasn't he a track star or
right,
something?
right. But he
Then
thinks it's not a fair playing field to take a male turned female and have them play sports because they still have the extra strength as a male.
mm, I still think that he's wrong.
Well, the thing is that the community is already going against him or her, going
Her.
against her. And also, the Kardashians are not going to be rallying for him, her. And Gavin Newsom was the first mayor that allowed gay marriage in the city of San Francisco. And most people like him. Like they got 1 point something million recall signatures, but there's like 70 million people in California. I
Why are they
could be
trying to
wrong.
recall him? I don't even know this
They
time. I just
always want to recall him. They always want to recall him. They said
well,
because he did the restrictions with COVID. And right now, we're fantastic. We're doing fantastic. Disneyland's open, Marin County out here, and San Francisco's going to yellow, which is like before you know it, by summer, we'll be clear.
Chicago's doing a lot better too, Illinois. But I've had a lot of people on the community board like, they're nervous about with California go red and this and that. I'm like, absolutely
No,
not.
no,
um,
I don't see it. I never saw
so
Gavin
Newsom is
Newsom.
going to be running then against Jenner and a whole
A
field
whole slew of people.
my
They had
feeling.
this face on there that I almost jumped back. And it's a celebrity. And I'm like, I've never seen that person before.
Oh, well, a lot of times they put up dummy candidates to divert voting, but I still think Newsom will stay governor, or a Democrat will win. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the people that are running are going to though there's too many people running.
It just kind of bothered me with Caitlyn Jenner. The whole hormone thing, but one can counter that and say, if it's male to female, then they're given female hormones. So they might not have the competitive advantage.
They might not have the competitive. Yeah.
And besides that, she's ugly.
Oh my God. It's
that face on my butt, I wouldn't be afraid to back in a hornet's nest.
Somebody was talking on some TV talk show that I walked by saying that they were very mad at him for hurting his wife. I guess it was really painful.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen transgender, like male to female, like in the drag queens, the shows, and they are absolutely beautiful. But
gorgeous.
Caitlyn should give it up.
I know, gorgeous, absolutely. I've seen some of the most beautiful women that are trans.
I just think it's kind of, I don't get it that she's transgendered and she's this Trumpster and this right-wing Republican. I mean,
she still for Trump? Because I heard she was upset about what he did to transgender.
She should be.
Yeah, I heard she's not for him as much, but she's keeping her mouth shut. I don't know why she thought she could go into politics, but we'll watch her drop.
As a guy, he was nice looking.
Yeah. Always had the love, always wanted to be female. So we can't disavow that. We have to say whatever. Fortunately, here in the United States, you can be who you need to be. So,
well, she wants people to accept her, but I think then she needs to go forward and really work for, transgendered rights as opposed to going with the other side.
Right. Yeah.
I might be, if I'm wrong, y'all can correct me, but I don't think that she's done that much for transgendered rights and LGBTQ rights. I don't think she's done much of anything.
Somebody showed her campaigning in a car and then hitting somebody. Because that terrible accident, that might come back to haunt her.
Yep.
So, okay. So what next? Tell me what else we're going to hit.
So California will stay blue. Yay. I don't see it turning red anytime soon.
What about New York? Is it going to remain blue too?
The answer to that is yes.
Okay.
I think that, well, number one, they have New York City, but I think the people in New York are smart enough to realize that, they might not like Cuomo, but if they go red, it's not going to be pretty.
Oh,
so
yeah.
My feeling is it'll stay blue.
Okay.
But good. Cuomo hasn't resigned, right?
He just got quiet and he went in the background. And there are Broadway's opening up. Everything's coming back to normal. So, I think this was Trumpsters. I think this, between Gavin Newsom and him, I think it was Trump people trying to get rid of these very powerful Democratic governors.
Well, look at what they're doing in the South. Well, like states like Georgia, and now that audit, which is going to be, I think if that goes to court, the Supreme Court's going to say you can't do that because
that's
they
what I saw.
Pins. And I'm sure that Trump is behind it, his money.
Oh, yeah. And he's telling everybody, watch this because now you're going to see who the real president is.
And I'm sure that they've been instructed behind the scenes to make marks on the paper so it won't count. So to say that the votes were miscounted.
Right.
And somebody's going to come forward. My guides tell me with that information and talk about how I think it's that company's owned by a QAnon person.
Oh yeah, and one of the insurgents is in it.
Yes, but I think it'll come out that they were instructed to make marks on the ballot so that when they recount them, they would discard the ballot or something. That's what they're up to.
Okay, but you do see a challenge in the courts, maybe the Supreme Court.
That's right. And also the voter suppression. I mean, come on, it's going to be a felony or a crime to give somebody a drink of water? That is just horrendous. My guides tell me that won't
They're just desperately trying and they're grasping at straws. So,
Well, I think, people are wondering about Trump running again, and now he's going to start with his rallies, and, they won't let him tweet anymore. But, this is Mel interpreting what my guides told me. I'm just using Mel words. In the South where I come from, we'll say he's dog meat.
right, right.
But I wouldn't feed that to the dogs.
Well, and also a lot of cities he can't go to because he owes them so much money. And he'd be rallying all the time now, but it's not on the taxpayers' dime. All those rallies with Air Force One and all that in the background, that was all on the taxpayers.
Of course it was. And Linda, a lot of my people have asked, well, actually, you and I both predicted that Giuliani would be under indictment.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of my people are asking, when are they going to get Trump and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I understand the reason that they raided his apartment is because they wanted information on Marie Yovanovitch, that ambassador, to say that Giuliani had colluded with the Russians or the Ukrainians to get rid of her.
Right. Oh, that's a definite.
Yeah, right.
But the bigger piece of all this is they're finding out, trust me, they're gathering. I see them holding baskets and putting things in the basket. They have more on Rudy than you even realized. I got that clear. But totally. One of my predictions from 4 years ago was they are going to find out beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump colluded with Russia.
That's right.
To win this presidency. And he'll be basically, if he's not stripped totally, he'll be pretty much stripped.
Exactly. And that's why I think that he's going to be dog meat. So, did Trump have knowledge? Oh, of course. He directed that whole thing with Giuliani. Right. And I think they're going to charge Giuliani, to name a few, with interference in U.S. elections, conspiracy to defraud the United States government. I mean, there's going to be a lot.
But is he going to turn on Trump?
I think they'll try to get him to flip.
I see them trying to, desperately.
But I don't think he will. But yet they're still going to get a lot of dirt on Trump as well.
From Giuliani or someone else?
Oh, from the records from Giuliani as well, and from somebody else. There's at least, my guys tell me there's 2 or 3 more whistleblowers coming forward.
Okay. Because I was feeling like Michael Cohen says Giuliani's going to sing. And when I looked at it, I saw he might give out some information because Trump will turn on Giuliani.
Oh, and
Trump's fingerprints aren't on things. He's like, well, I never told you to do that.
Well, at some point, I keep thinking the RICO law, and I don't know what the letters stand for. It's an acronym, but what it boils down to is it's an old law on the books they found that if somebody is running a crime ring, even if they didn't commit the crime, they're still guilty. So, I mean, I got a funny feeling they might even be trying some RICO stuff behind the scenes on Trump.
Okay.
Because he was running all of that, but they have to prove it. And that's exactly why it's taking so long. There's numerous investigations going on at once with him. There's the state of New York investigating him and his family.
With tax fraud.
That's right. Now there's this Giuliani thing. And it's just, so there's numerous investigations going on. But I do think they're talking behind the scenes.
Right. I also saw them taking that basket. They're getting a lot of stuff on these insurgents. And
absolutely.
People who gave the tours, that's not being dropped. But with the big names like Congress people, they got to make sure all their ducks are in a row.
Well, they're going to also have proof that, they know that Trump lied about the insurrection, but they're also going to have proof that, in a way, he directed it.
Right. Well, like he's denying he caused that insurrection when he was standing up there. And he was telling everybody, go get our capital back. Go get our country back.
Well, I think, I heard one of the commentators say, I wrote this down. Lies travel around the world and back while truth is lacing its shoes, right? In other words, the lies travel quicker. But I think, now he's going on with this election that it's a big lie, blah, blah, blah. But I think the more he lies, the more energized that many of us become. Uh, and it energizes us to tell the truth.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, he'll always come up with conspiracy theories, but he is going to fall down hard. I
Right.
see a lot of his properties confiscated. I see,
Oh, I saw him losing properties.
a couple of his family members, going to jail. Giuliani going to jail. Stone is going to have some trouble too.
Oh yeah, Stone was on that Parlor or whatever. I don't belong to it. Somebody on Twitter posted it, and he's begging for money again
Right.
because of all the fees he's having to pay for attorneys.
They should make a law against that. Like if you get that kind of money, you should have pay income tax on it or whatever. I don't know, but there should be some kind of law because
Well, he had that meeting with Alex Jones, and he told Alex Jones, "Save your money because we're getting ready to get arrested," including Alex Jones. So
that's right. And I'll tell you who else is going to get arrested again is Bannon.
oh yes, I saw that a while ago.
Because I'm thinking them investigating Giuliani is going to uncover a lot of stuff.
It's so funny when I heard that they had done Giuliani and they were focusing in on this Ukraine thing. I also felt it was bigger than that.
It is
like some boom, 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 like all these fireworks going on.
That's exactly how I see it. And there's going to be complicity with something with Bannon and all of that. And so
I saw that ambassador getting her just desserts. So I feel like she'll be able to smile and watch those people go down because they thought they were all that in a cup of tea. Get rid of her. Get rid of. They told Barr to get rid of her.
They wanted to get rid of her because she knew too much on Trump and she knew too much on what Giuliani was doing.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I heard that I did my research and they said that U.S. intelligence tried to warn Giuliani.
Oh yeah.
That it was the Russians. It was disinformation.
And Ron Johnson too.
Exactly. And he didn't stop. He just kept going.
He said, well, they didn't give me the details. So I just, like the FBI is going to come and tell you a bunch of crock,
Well, he's going to try the attorney-client privilege, but it won't work. Yeah. I mean, if two people are committing a crime, if you're an attorney and that's your client, it ain't going to work.
Oh, and I could see him saying that. I could see him telling Trump even, or his sons or whatever, oh, it's attorney-client, like they really have a nothing burger there, and he's about ready to find out different.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, and now they're saying they broke the door down. Now they're saying when they came that the door.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Rudy said, oh, they were so polite and blah, blah, blah. When I heard they raided him, I'm like, yes.
But they raided him, but they also knew he got rid of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Which will go against him too, because then he's trying to hide a crime.
Well, that's, what is that called? If you get rid of evidence, it's a crime, but I forget what it's called.
And all those things that
obstruction. I'm sorry, it's obstruction of justice.
They thought they were able to hide it. They didn't hide it enough. They found it. I'm telling you, the Biden administration found it. They got people in there, professionals, removing all that information.
They're going to get in for obstruction of justice as well.
And, the stock market's going up another 300 points today as I speak to you. So remember Trump, if Biden gets in, the stock market's going to crash everything. We haven't been so good.
Donald, I raised both of my middle fingers to you. And for those of you out there, just read between the lines.
Mm-hmm. So
all I have to say to Donald is bless your heart.
Bless your sweet little heart.
The South where I come from means go screw yourself.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out with Giuliani. I'm like,
are you picking up, very hard for me with time frames. Are you picking up boom, boom, boom coming up down the road here?
Well, the investigation is going to take a while. I don't know if it'll take as long as the Mueller report, but I see the number.
Mine's only been in a little over 100 days. So.
Right. But for the Giuliani investigation, I see the number 9. So it could be like 9 days. It's not that soon. It could be 9 weeks, could be 9 months, could be September.
Could be September.
But every day, not every day, but regularly, there's going to be new stuff coming out.
Right.
And I think people will start to discover just the layers of it. I mean, how high up it really went.
Right. Exactly.
So anyway, You know, uh, yeah, let's talk about the whole meat thing. Did you hear about that?
The whole what?
That they were saying that the ultra right and Fox News was saying that Biden was trying to restrict people from eating meat,
Oh, that was a bunch of crap. Yeah.
and
They're looking, they're desperate.
yeah, it was a nothing burger, as you say. All right. And then the other big lie that they're telling us that Kamala gave the kids at the border a book, and that she wrote a book she gave them, but she didn't really. I mean, she didn't write a book about that.
And that's some, but they'll lie. They'll just get up there and lie. Because the truth, even when the truth comes out, you've already caused the damage with the lie.
Exactly. But you know, it's at some point I do see truth winning out. So it's starting. The process is starting, and
But
I
can you
think
ever change those people that are so dead set against anybody but Trump? What's
well,
the final blow for Trump where people finally say, oh,
well, I'll tell you a little story. Even when Hitler was defeated, there were a lot of people that kind of went undercover and they wouldn't admit that they had supported him, but yet they still kind of did, you know? And it's the same thing. I mean, Trump plays to the xenophobia, he plays to the racist, he plays to the bigots, he plays to the white supremacist. And unfortunately, they're still around and they're not going to stop supporting Donald Trump.
right.
But what I see winning out is the bigger part of us who are saying, we've had enough of the lies, we've had enough of the BS, and we're taking the country back.
Well, look how Germany changed. They even teach about what happened with Hitler in the schools.
They did.
They're standing towards it and saying we were wrong. And
Right.
but you got your Hitler type carrying the flag, the Nazi flag here in the United States because Hitler still lives. Even if Trump was to go physically, I think that there will still be Trump flags.
Exactly. But I do think that at some point, um, a lot of those ultra right wing organizations will go by the wayside. It's just going to take a while.
Okay, right.
And no, Biden is not trying to make the country socialist. Do you know how much I hear that? I'm like, no, wrong.
And no, there's nothing in the vaccine that's harm. That's
Oh,
Bill Gates putting a. It's just amazing. They just make it up. They just make it up.
well, the conspiracy theorists, and I laugh because they were the first ones in line to get the vaccine.
Oh, they also cashed a $1,400 check.
That's right. You know
Mhm.
what? They don't have to put anything in the vaccine to track us. They can do it by our cell phones.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Jesus.
The vaccine is safe. I mean, I heard somebody say, well, it'll rewire your DNA. I'm going like, what?
No.
Maybe I
Then
should
you
get
ask
another
them for the
vaccine because
science,
huh?
you ask them for the science, and they're like, they don't have the science.
Maybe I should get another vaccine because I need some RNA rewiring.
So,
Anyway, I think Biden is doing an excellent job. In his first 100 days, he did more than Trump did in 4 years.
pisses Trump off.
Oh, it should. Good. When Trump starts going after somebody, you know he feels threatened by them.
Exactly.
And
He
Biden's
was
just sitting
really
there
threatened with
smiling.
Biden from the get-go. Hold on a second. He was really threatened with Biden from the get-go.
Of course he was. That's why they tried to get all that. They tried to have disinformation about, I heard Tucker Carlson talking about and Rudy Giuliani talking about the stuff Biden did in Ukraine, and it didn't hold water.
Didn't hold water.
And they're still like coming up with the BS.
Right, right.
But I think Biden's doing a great job. I mean, he passed his goal of getting 100 million people vaccinated. And when he took over, he was told that we had vaccine. There was none. And so,
Trump had said, how come I'm not getting credit? I'm the one that got you the vaccine.
Right. I mean, that whole chaotic mess, he turned around and made it organized and got people vaccinated. And I mean,
they have nothing to work with.
And look at the infrastructure package. That's going to be amazing. I think it's going to
and a good percentage of Americans are wanting this stuff. They wanted the COVID relief. They want the New Deal. They want they were talking about Wisconsin or something. The guy was saying, yeah, we don't need to have broadband or school something with kids, and it's like, no, the people in Wisconsin are saying, no, we could use these things. So they're
Absolutely.
not speaking for the people, they're speaking for themselves.
Well, they're trying to play here again to that ultra right wing small base. All right.
Right.
Um, but you know that I see the infrastructure package going through at some point.
I do too. And I almost feel, now tell me what you think. I feel that Biden's bending over backwards. He's going to have meetings, he's going to try to work, and they're going to try to chop it down and make it so worthless that it actually pisses Biden off.
Oh, I think he's pissed off already, and I would be. But the more they make him mad, the more harder he works.
Because he's a Scorpio.
That's right.
So don't mess with a Scorpio.
That everybody in my family Scorpio except for me. But I've got 3 planets in Scorpio. So
there
what is
you
it?
go. So he's going to keep presenting it to the people and put pressure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, well, it really is reminiscent of the New Deal. It's Biden.
It is. That's what deceased President Franklin D. Roosevelt, remember, he'd come to me all the time and he'd say to me that Biden is a lot like him energetically, and that he would come up with a New Deal. He said this to me years ago.
And I love when Biden said you don't have to have a college degree to get some of these jobs.
Yes.
This will create a lot of jobs, like, construction, infrastructure, office jobs, all kinds of jobs,
Now, do you think this will get passed before midterms?
That I don't know.
Or do we need the midterms to pass it?
I think it will be the midterms because the Republicans are going to be against it.
They're going to fight it in that mansion. Oh, God, I can't.
Oh, I can see Mitch McConnell going, well, it's a form of socialism, and that's what we don't need right now. It's been
in the meantime, he represents one of the poorest states.
You know what? Mitch McConnell and the Republicans allowed Donald Trump to spend more money than any president in American history, specifically on the friggin' wall. All right. And then they got ill-gotten gains from that, all the money they wasted. And now they have the coalitions, as they say in Italian, to talk about that Biden is spending too much.
Oh, I know.
It's like, hey.
We're in the worst debt ever, thanks to Trump. He went on golf things every weekend.
Right. I'm like, what is that about?
Pappas or Pompeo had all those dinners on our dime and thought he thinks he's going to run for president.
Yeah, well, good luck. I think Biden's going to put money like, roads, bridges, dams.
That's what he's going to work on.
Transportation.
Yes.
He has a great train system, and I see that coming here too.
Yeah. He's going to be known as probably one of the greatest presidents ever. Interesting too, because he's had a lot of experience, years in the Senate, years as a vice president, and he came in ready. He hit the ground running, my friend. He hit the ground running.
And it was so reminiscent, I think, of FDR, because when FDR came up with the New Deal, he wasn't well liked either by the Republicans, and he was able to get things done. So.
Well, didn't he pack the Supreme Court or something, or he threatened to?
I'm sorry?
Didn't he do something with the Supreme Court, or he threatened to?
I think he threatened. I don't know the exact.
Because there's some stuff that they were able to get the Supreme Court to reverse on him.
Right.
That he was trying.
Speaking of the Supreme Court, I see
Biden. My friend?
Well, he's already started a commission to analyze adding more judges on the Supreme Court, and they will. I still see Kavanaugh gone.
Yes.
And Amy Coney Barrett, Comey, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Barrett gone. I see her gone. So
because she's sick or because she's forced out?
I think so.
Okay.
But I don't think he's going to put ultra liberals on the court. I think he'll pick, some middle of the road.
I know he will. I can feel it.
Right.
I see him picking women too, women of color.
That's right.
I see, but Sterling said he's feeling like somebody's getting ready to go sooner than later, suddenly. So do you think that's Thomas?
On the court?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're treading lightly right now because of the politics of it. Biden also knows how to play the politics. So I think he's got his commission going, and I think they will add more justices. But I think before they start coming up with anything, they kind of have to take it slow and easy, because otherwise the Republicans would spin it and say they're just doing it because they were appointees by Trump.
That's why I was telling people, I had a feeling that Biden has to mark himself very well or take his pace slow. Like everybody's saying, why hasn't he given Reality Winner, a ticket out? I think there's some things that he doesn't want to upset the already cranky Republicans while
Exactly.
he's trying to do this. After he does this, or if we win on the landslide for the midterms, that's when it's carte blanche. That's when you're going to see things happening with Supreme Court stuff.
Well, a lot of people are asking about the midterms with the voter suppression and this and that. And I'm thinking, okay, so they can, in those southern states, say, we're going to limit drop boxes. You can't give water to people in line. We're going to limit, mail-in votes. You know what? That's just going to drive more people to the polls.
Oh, especially Democrats. You're going to find Republicans not so like whatever.
Oh, I would be waiting in line and watch. And then what they'll try to say is, oh, well, we're going to close the poll. It doesn't matter who's waiting in line. And there's going to be outcries about that. A lot of court stuff coming in and saying they can't suppress the votes the way they're trying to do.
Okay, so what about what's going on in Arizona? I keep hearing that a judge is listening to this, but I haven't heard that they put a stop to it.
I think at some point they will. All right. I think they'll find some, at least 5 or 6 things that will make it end. Maybe this judge won't, but if they take it higher, and if it gets to the Supreme Court, I think would overturn it as well.
Right, they already did 9 total recounts?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, come on. But what they're going to try to do is say that, well, we had this recount by this organization that we had in the Republicans, and we found fraud. And we can okay, where is it? Because those auditors are the ones that are changing the ballots.
Okay.
They're putting marks on the paper, and when they recount, if there's a mark on the paper, the machine will.
So are they going to say that Trump won Arizona then?
They're just going to say that, if you put a mark on that paper, and if the machine with the blue pen or black pen, the machine will kick it out saying it's an invalid vote. So if they go through and nobody's watching, they make little marks on there, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're up to something. But then if there's a re-audit, which there probably will be, it'll be shown that these QAnon auditors, all right, committed fraud. So
yeah,
there we have it.
That's
but
good.
I think the bigger question is, you just said it, people are asking about the midterms and will the Democrats keep the House and the Senate? And a lot of people are nervous about that. So what's your take on it?
I feel we're going to win. I think we get more seats on both, especially the Senate. 20 seats are open now.
Oh, good. So I don't think that voter suppression laws will work,
No, well, you're always going to have your red states.
Of course.
You're always going to have your hillbilly states, but.
Right. But I still think that, but the Democrats need to start speaking up and really get busy and don't take this for granted. Because if they do, or if we do, then we could easily lose. So we've got to keep the
get in there. And also Biden is really talking to America.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel like he's going to say, like he does, folks, how he was always saying, folks.
Yep.
He's just going to give his cause. He's going to say, I tried so hard to work with them. I tried my damnedest to work with the Republicans, and they're just not, they're presenting this crazy, cut this in half and that. It just feels like he's trying. I hear him saying, I tried. And it's going to piss enough people off. He might even have to cut some of the education and the school stuff, but it's going to upset enough people that they're saying, no, we're going to give you the people you need to pass these things through.
I think it's pissing a lot of people off. Did you hear the Republicans' reply to his State of the Union message? Oh my God.
With the guy who says, there's no racism in America.
Hello, what planet was he on? Well,
it was sad. It was sad.
Well, the Republicans put him up there because he was African American, so they could say,
Right.
"See, we're not racist."
Right.
Which was a
Exactly.
racist thing they did by putting him up there.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yep.
when he said, "Well, Biden seems like a nice man," I'm like, "Seems."
He is a nice man.
He's a nice man.
So what's going to happen to Mitt Romney? Did you see all those people booing him at the Republican thing?
Or Liz Cheney.
Yeah. What's going to happen to Mitt Romney?
Well, you know, um, isn't he about to retire or something?
He's not running this coming time, but I don't know if he's retiring. Yeah, I think you're right. Just now when you said that, I saw him not even applying for the job next time.
Well, I think when he retires or doesn't run, then he'll become a mouthpiece for not what's going on the Republican Party now, but for like truth and all of that. I
Right.
mean, he's going to come out publicly, as will Liz Cheney. I mean, she's going to be formidable. They're trying to censure her and take away her leadership role in the
Yeah.
House.
Are they succeeding?
They will take away her leadership role, but they won't succeed in shutting her up.
Right. She's
I mean,
saying that the voting was not rigged. Period.
I think what she's going to do is work with the Lincoln Project and people like that. A lot of the conservatives that aren't Trumpsters and that aren't bigots and stuff like that. And really, the Republican Party is going to be split,
Right.
period. And
Right.
it's just, and I think Trump, you'd think a president would want unity, but Trump is loving the anarchy and the chaos. That's what he
He
wants.
loves that booing with Mitt. He was loving it.
Oh yeah, he smiled on television when he saw the insurrection. He wants that because that energizes
That
the
proves
people.
they love him. Yeah.
Exactly.
When who called him and said you got to call the guard because they're climbing up on the walls trying to come through the windows, and he said, well, I guess some people believe in me more than others.
Right. I mean, yeah, how narcissistic is that? But he wants that kind of
Adulation.
yeah. I mean,
and let me tell you too, the Russian thing, even though that's going to get proved, that the people that love him don't care, because I've seen their t-shirts. I'd rather be Russian than Democrat.
oh my God.
I'll tell you, Mel, can I ask you just for a minute, psychically, what would have happened if he won another 4 years?
I'd move.
He would have made it so bad. We'd still be dying.
If he would have won another 4 years, we would have lost millions of people to COVID.
Yes.
The economy would have been in shambles. We'd have been this close with Russia, and we would have lost our European allies.
Because as it is, we're up with them now, but they're also saying to us, for how long? They're worried that somebody like Trump would get back in there.
Well, they're right to say that, because what prevents that again? So, I think at some point there's going to be sweeping reforms to prevent another person like Trump from doing what he did.
There you go.
It's just the zeitgeist. Zeitgeist means spirit of the time is not ready now. Had he won the presidency, I think America as we know it wouldn't have been
it was already going downhill.
Look at the damage he did in 4 years. Think about 4 more.
My favorite thing, and I've told my people already, and I don't know if I've told you, but did you see him talking about the Academy Awards? Worst ratings ever, he said on Parler or whatever he's on. Worst ratings ever. So it just proves the fact that they are worthless and they're nobodies and this and that, because he's jealous of them because they don't make him out to be a big deal. So the Academy Award on Twitter said, yes, coming from the worst ratings president ever. Worst hairdo ever. Worst tan ever. And they said, maybe our ratings are down because you killed everybody with COVID. You think?
You think?
I loved it. I loved it. It was fantastic. I love some of those people that come back on him with one-liners.
Oh, a lot of people. They're not,
And what is he going to say? He does have the worst ratings ever. Oh, you know, it irks him that Biden is up in the ratings.
of course, Trump
Oh,
does say it's fake news. It's fake news. It's a big lie. I got the best rating, whatever.
yeah, like that COVID was a Democrat conspiracy.
Yeah, right. Well, Rush Limbaugh fueled that one too, right?
Right. So, oh, you were going to talk about Tucker Carlson.
Oh, well, what about when he said, "Ask people if you," when he said, "If you see someone in public wearing a mask, ask them to remove their mask." And you should call Department of Child and Family Services if you've seen a child wearing a mask outside, because that's child abuse. Could you believe that one? Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
believe it. I believe it.
I'm
And
like,
there'll be people that'll do that.
of course.
But I see the Department of them not even investigating it.
If somebody told me to take my mask off
Yeah.
because it's insulting to them,
Mm-hmm.
my response would be, I can't say the F word on YouTube, but my response would be pretty much,
The F word.
you got it.
Well, there's somebody that wrote me for my prayer days tomorrow. I do a bunch of prayers. Oh, my friend, I got like over 200. But anyway, someone said that their friend had the vaccines and still got COVID. Another thing of it. He
The
wasn't
vaccine,
using the mask.
the vaccine doesn't prevent you from getting COVID. Well, it does. It can, like 95%. But some people can still get COVID. But the thing is, if you get it, it keeps you out of the hospital. You don't get it as bad, and it keeps you from dying.
Okay. Okay.
That's the whole idea of like the Johnson and Johnson. They said it's only 60% effective. Yeah, but they didn't tell the whole story. The whole story is it's about 95% effective in keeping people out of the hospital and keeping them from dying if they
Right.
get COVID.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea of giving you antibodies. So when you get something, it can prevent it, or if you get it, it keeps it from becoming as bad.
So give us the good news. Is Tucker going?
I see Tucker going. Yay. So I think everybody should get a mask and put on there, "This is for Tucker Carlson," and wear it. How's that?
Yeah, he's not going to have any power pretty soon. Let me tell you what's going to happen.
Sad
And
part
I
is he's
felt
still
this.
nice looking, but he's so negative. Oh,
Well, he always looks like he's constipated when he's on.
he does.
So anyway, what was I going to say? Years ago, I told all my peoples that I saw like the Republicans like rats on a ship, and they're jumping off. They're getting off the ship. And I'm telling you, that's about ready to happen, because so much information is coming out about Trump that they can't color code it. They can't pour enough perfume on it. It stinks.
You can't put a dog turd under the carpet. You can for a while, but sooner or later it starts
You
to
gotta
smell.
smell it.
That's right. Oh, speaking of healing, I got a favor. My friend Marie Bond, my last video was about this. Her dog Vinnie, he's a golden retriever. He and Lucky trained together for Canine Good Citizen, Urban Dog, Scent Work. And he's only 4.5. He's the sweetest dog. Oh my God, he's such a sweetie.
A golden retriever, though.
Yeah, but they found out he's got sarcoma, which is like cancer. Marie found a little place on his jaw, and it was like a bump or like a lump, and it was cancer. So it's kind of in the nasal, in the nose. But they did radiation therapy, and I think they're finished with that. But I'm just asking everybody to send healing energy to. His name is Vinnie, Vinnie Ocean.
Vinnie
from The Sopranos.
Oh,
So they came out with these.
prayers out, you guys, for Vinnie,
They
Marie's
came out
dog.
with these bracelets, Vinnie Ocean, and then it's Make Vinnie Strong. And
Oh,
so, it's really gaining a lot of impetus and power. So we just asked for healing energy. And there's a big thing now in Vinnie's name to help find a cure for canine cancer. So it's really
yeah.
cool.
Somebody just wrote me too. Her cat has cancer in the jaw.
Yep.
It's
I think a lot of
horrible.
it's the food and stuff like that. People had asked me the name of the dog food I'm feeding Lucky, and I said Farm Fresh, but it's not.
Oh,
Uh, you know what? I had it wrong.
Hey, my vet put my dogs on a diet, and I'm doing a prescription metabolic, and it's working. And those dogs look forward to I feed them twice a day. I mean, they're sitting here watching me serve them up. I'm not starving them, I did cut out some of the treats because they have to lose weight.
Right. Lucky's got to lose weight too, but this is called the farmer's dog, and
Oh, yes.
it's really cool. They send the food frozen. There's no additives.
Right.
They formulate the diet according to your dog, and she's losing a little bit of weight on it, which is good but it's all organic. It's like they cook it right there. It's all people food. I mean, it's human grade food, and it's really cool. It'll stay in the refrigerator for about 4 days. The problem is it's frozen, and so you got to have freezer room. So my freezer's full of dog food.
Right. I have a freezer outside I like to use for my ice cream. I mean, for, certain things.
For your farm fresh.
For my farm fresh.
For your farmer's dog.
There you go. So anyway, Matt Gaetz. How did you say they say in German?
In German, it would be Gaetz, but oh boy. Well, that friend of his, Joel Greenberg, all right, that's indicted.
It's all a lie. It's all a lie.
Right. Well, I think they're going to use him as a witness against Gaetz, Greenberg, because they got the goods on him. And
are we seeing an arrest?
Oh yeah. But here again, it's just not one charge. It's going to be multiple charges. Sex with a minor, all kinds of stuff.
Will he actually go to jail, or will he bond himself?
Well, it'll be a really high bond, but if he bonds out,
I think his dad has the money.
His dad will bond him out. But the bottom line is, Daddy's not going to be able to pull political strings. He's going to go to jail. Absolutely.
It's funny. There was no quiet thing for him. Pardon. That people were saying maybe Trump gave him. No, there was none. And it's interesting because I feel he did ask Trump for a pardon, a blanket pardon. But I think Barr knew that this kid was already in trouble. And I think he advised Trump not to pardon him because it makes.
You're right. I don't know if it was Goldberg or I'm sorry, Greenberg. One of them went to Stone, okay, and asked for a pardon. And Stone was like, well, for $250,000, then, you can get the pardon. So, it's going to come out that Trump was also selling pardons.
Oh, yes. I'm telling you right now, I knew that.
People colluded with him to do that. And so that
Did Matt Gaetz pay him $250,000?
I don't think so. But that's totally illegal to even solicit that.
I know. Oh,
that's all going to come out.
Don't care less. He's just all about making money.
Oh, well, but Trump does what he always does. He screws people out of their money so he can put it in his pocket.
Right.
Like that whole thing that he was getting money and he was using it for his defense to file for his lawsuits. What was it, 120 million?
Yes, and then Barr said that they were going to represent him, the Department of Justice, on that woman that claimed that he attacked her in the dressing room. And the judge said, no, you're not. This happened before he was president. So don't say just because he's president.
Well, I heard Glenn Kirshner or whatever.
Yeah, I like him.
I watch him too. And I think I love what he said, that the attorney general is not the attorney for the president.
Well, yeah. But Trump thought that was his personal attorney.
Of course. Well, he wanted him for that.
That's why he was so mad at Jeff Sessions.
Oh yeah. But the attorney general is the attorney for the people of the United States. And so, there's going to be so much coming out about selling pardons and
right. Oh, yes. And the thing is, they're talking now on some of these shows, and somebody made a very good point. Bottom line is we have to vote if we come. Okay. Remember when Trump was in office and we had the midterms, and he was on the road every day telling
Okay.
people you can't vote for a Democrat because they're going to do this and that, and we're going to go to hell in a handbasket. And he went to all these rallies and he was just booking. And then we won all those congressional seats. We won. That's what I'm seeing for the midterms, because they're thinking, oh, once a Democrat comes in, then you'll be able to get the Republican. No, that's not going to happen,
Good.
because people are liking the ideas that Biden, because Trump never had an idea. I'm going to give you the best healthcare plan ever. Yeah, we're still waiting on that.
We're still waiting for it, right? Oh, it's going to come out next week. It's going to come out next week. It's going to come out next
My
week.
taxes are coming out, no problem. That's no big deal.
All right. I wonder what Alec Baldwin is doing now that Trump's out of office, because he did Trump better than Trump did Trump.
Oh, it was wonderful. He was great. He got a lot of hassle, though, by the Trumpsters for that.
Oh, too bad. I'm sure that he's got a certain part of the anatomy to deal with it.
Yeah. So is there anything else, my friend, that you want to?
Well, I just am so excited that, Biden is doing so much for the American people, and Kamala as well.
Yes.
So, my advice to our listeners and our viewers is, no matter how old you are, when you hear a lie like that, speak up.
Exactly.
We're not going to change Trump's base, but a lot of people, they hear that and they believe it. So it's like, no, speak up.
Well, like they're saying, we've got to vote. We actually have to get more Dems in there in order to change all this. But the other thing is, as we progress and people are noticing their living is better.
Yes.
Their ability to get health care is better. Their
and affordable health care and affordable
children are being better. Like they're going, because Pence was already saying, oh, now that Biden's in, he's made abortions legal, and he's doing this and that. And it's like, Pence amazes me because he's such an idiot, but yet he did stand up to the plate and counted those electoral votes. I was very surprised.
Well, Pence really can't say too much. I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Because this whole COVID epidemic, they didn't do anything. They lied, okay? And they let over 500,000 people die. But yet they're worried about women's rights to choose with her own body. And they say, oh, well, abortion is wrong because it takes a life. Excuse me? What about the people that die during the COVID epidemic? Focus on that.
They're not pro-life, and then they're insurrectionists, attack police, but they're blue power. But we'll kill you if you get in our way.
Oh yeah, right. They attack the police, but yet
they on both sides, and they're trying to bring up. Kamala had a boyfriend named Willie Brown from California. He was separated. I knew him. I worked for him. He was long separated from his wife, and they still had a good relationship. They had children, and he was a jack of all trades. He was a schmoozer, and I guess he dated Kamala, and I guess he saw her potential and helped her. He saw that she could do something with herself. Oh, they're bringing up the fact that she was having an affair with a married man. Well, he was separated. He wasn't actually married. But check this out. The same people that had no problem with Trump paying off, these
Daniel,
they weren't. They were. That's
the whole point. It's the hypocrisy. Oh, she had an affair with the man who was separated. Like they criticized Michelle Obama because she showed too much shoulder. Oh, really?
Right.
You've got a president, an ex-president, 45, who was having affairs with hookers. You've got
who didn't mind saying grab them by the what.
Right. You got a congressperson, okay, who's accused of having sex with minors.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got all these affairs these old Republican men have had.
But that's not important. Look at Hunter Biden.
Oh, exactly. And you're going to talk about her dating a guy that's separated? Okay. Next case.
In the meantime, she got married. She's very happy. I'm sure they're still friends, but that was no biggie. But they're just looking for anything.
Linda, people should say, who cares?
If I ever ran for office, they would have so much on me.
Oh shit! If I ran for office
3 times.
If I ran for office, about 100 people would have heart attacks.
It's a shame you got to have a clean background to run for office. Well, Trump didn't need a clean background.
Well, yeah, Trump just carried on more big lies.
Yeah.
And then, when he said grab them by the, what, they were like, was it Mitch McConnell? Well, I can do Mitch McConnell. Well, it's just locker room talk.
Locker room.
Really?
That's what his wife said too.
Yeah, right? I don't think so.
And the reason he's going to New Jersey is because they did give him enough pressure down in Mar-a-Lago that he cannot live there. So he's going in between New Jersey and Mar-a-Lago.
Well, Mar-a-Lago is going to go bankrupt anyway.
I can't wait.
All of his properties. I still have my vision of Trump Tower in Chicago. And I have this vision of them taking the T down first. So it'll just say rump. And they'll probably leave it up there for a while. His name is going to come off that building. Right. And especially when they find out that he's engaged in criminal activity, because I think part of the lease says if they've engaged in any kind of criminal activity, they can't have their name on a building. Oh. Or they can do something with the lease. So that's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay.
And I think Chicago's going to have a celebration.
Yeah, like dancing in the streets, like I said, when God.
I see that. I mean, my guide showed me that people in the streets applauding and yay, because, the Trump Tower. I mean, I won't even take a picture of it. It's like, people say you should go there. I'm not going in there.
I'm not going. There's that one in Las Vegas that it's empty now. No, he's not in there, but I stayed at the Wynn and you could see it. It's like,
well, his name's going to be taken off all those buildings. And I mean, he's going to have massive, massive financial problems. So,
and also you don't hear about his daughter running for office or his son. You're not hearing that anymore.
No, because I think somewhere along the line, they've been told to be quiet.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, my friend. It was wonderful talking. We've done about an hour's worth here.
And you're going to be on my show next Monday. So
next Monday, I'm going to be on your show, and I'll help you do this if you need.
I love it. All right, my dear.
All right, honey. You take care.
Love you.
Love you. Bye. Bye, everybody.